Hello, I'm in my garden. I hope you're all well. This week I made a video with three of my friends talking about living in Granada, what they liked most and what they missed from their hometowns.
Okay. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Karis.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about living in Granada, and where you're from and how it compares with Granada. Okay. So, so first question is, where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand,
Uh-huh.
very far away.
And where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Granada
hmm
in Lachana.
So I always make fun of Kelly because I think she has a really funny accent in English. So that was
Awesome.
one of the reasons I wanted her on this video, to hear her funny New Zealand accent. Hi, Omar.
Hi,
So first question is, where are you from? And why and when did you move to Granada?
okay, so I'm from the Canary Islands, Lanzarote to be exact, and I moved to Granada to study there my master's after I finished my degree in Madrid.
hmm Look at you showing off your C2 English. Omar recently did his C2 exam, so and passed. So he's here to show off his impeccable English. Okay, hey Luke.
Hey, Karis.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about living in Granada. So my first question is, where are you from?
So I'm from Portsmouth in England. So Portsmouth is right on the south coast, by the sea.
How long have you been living in Granada, and why did you move there?
So I've been living in Granada for about 7 months now. And I moved here for a teaching job.
And how do you like living in Granada? What is your favorite thing about the city?
I love living in Granada. I really like the Alhambra. That's a beautiful thing in the city. My favorite thing about living here, it's very beautiful. When you walk around, the buildings are very beautiful. The way that the seasons change, all the trees, all the walks you can do. It's a very special city to live in. Yeah.
There are some amazing walks in the mountains as well.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
beautiful.
When you first moved to Granada, was there anything about the place that surprised you? And what is your favorite thing about living there?
I first went to Granada 4 years before I moved there because my sister was studying there. And what I liked the most and what surprised me the most was how much like people went outside to just spend time on the streets and in the terraces.
And from living there, what was your favorite thing?
My favorite thing living there, I think that's precisely what I liked the most. Because I came from Madrid to Granada, and in Madrid, people, if they're on the streets, they want to go somewhere, whereas in Granada, they want to be outside just having fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, and what do you like about living in Granada?
So obviously Granada itself is an amazing, beautiful city. Obviously tapas culture is just the best. But probably my favorite thing has to be being right by the mountains.
Where is your favorite place in Granada?
Okay, so my favorite place is this spot southwest of Granada's center, about, I don't know, 10 kilometers outside. There's this little town called Dila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah,
And basically on the outskirts of the town, there's this hill right by this river, and about halfway up, there's this bench and it just has the most.
It's very, very specific. You're giving directions.
Okay. And then it just has the most beautiful view. But the main reason I love it is because it's just so quiet, so tranquil. You can't hear any cars, any people, and it's just so peaceful. And I just go there that once a week.
One of my favorite places I've been here. Oh, I will say it wrong. The Carmen
de los
de los
Martires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Paradise.
So you're from Canterbury in New Zealand. How does that compare to Granada? Is there anything you miss about New Zealand living in Granada?
Yeah. So coming from Canterbury, it is very, very different. One thing is the climate. Yeah, it doesn't rain very much. So yeah, it's very dry here. It rains a lot at home. The temperature is just lower. The trees and natural surroundings are very different. There's a lot more sheep and a lot more cows.
Yeah, because I used to live in the Canterbury in England, which is where I went to university. So there's Canterbury in New Zealand and Canterbury in England. I used to live in the other Canterbury, and also there the air quality is much better because there's a lot of farms and a lot of green agricultural space. So and it's by the sea as well, so it's much cleaner, but like much less sunshine.
Much less sunshine.
And how is Granada different to your hometown?
How is Granada different? Well, I suppose England and Spain in general. Obviously the weather. It's always sunny here every day. Most days. It's so nice. Obviously, you know just as well as me, England is so grey and miserable.
So was there anything that you really missed from Lanzarote when you were living in Granada?
Probably like the place itself, because in Lanzarote we have like the beach really close, but otherwise I don't think there's much of a difference.
Anything you miss from New Zealand that you miss in Granada?
Okay, things that I miss. I really miss, aside from friends and family, I really miss Vegemite, which Karis knows. I really miss, it's a spread you put on your toast in the morning. And we eat a lot of Vegemite in New Zealand and Australia. So I really miss that.
And so there was nothing you really missed then? Not any food product or the Atlantic Sea or anything?
I mean, okay, I'm used to eating a lot with my family, very common Canarian like dishes. And that's the type of food that I missed when I was studying abroad or outside of my island.
What type of meals? What's a common Canarian meal?
So one is called sancocho. Sancocho is like a stew for fish, or like a fish stew. And mostly the things I missed the most were the fish dishes. Because you cannot find the same type of fish that you find in Lanzarote in La Peninsula.
Okay. When I went to visit, we didn't try the fish stew.
Sadly.
Do you miss anything about the UK? Maybe a food or a place or something?
I suppose one thing that Granada is missing, I know there's a few spots, but like green areas, like parks, I feel like the UK is a country which has lots of green spots, like for example, Bristol, where I've been was living recently for a few years, has amazing parks, and yeah, it's just a good place to chill out. It's sunny in the parks. And there's not really that much similar here in Granada.
Yeah, I suppose the advantage of having a lot of rain is it means you can have a lot of greenery. And the last question is, did you have any cultural shocks, any culture shocks about anything when you moved to Granada? Because this is the first time you've ever lived in Spain, and you're
Mhm.
learning Spanish, but you came
Yeah.
here without knowing very much. So, did you have any culture shocks?
I still don't know very much, as you know, but I know more than I did before.
You're
It's
learning.
just, it takes time to learn.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest culture shock for me was that when you when you see or like hear about Spain from overseas, you think that it's everyone is smiling and happy and friendly all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so coming to Granada and learning that I'm not always um, friendly or open. Sometimes when you go and order a coffee or order a sandwich and the person is a little bit grumpy, a little bit grumpy with you,
Yeah.
that was really, um, people are really friendly in New Zealand. And so I think that was probably the biggest surprise, is that that's not always the response you're going to get from a Spanish person the first time. So
Yeah.
you just have to keep smiling.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, I find Spanish people fairly friendly, but I've lived in Madrid and in Granada, and in both the customer service, like in bars and in restaurants and stuff, is yeah, I think it's terrible. People are really grumpy. So, did you have any culture shock when you moved to Granada?
Mm, so I actually lived in Barcelona for a month. But I think the difference with there is it's very international
Hmm.
compared to Granada, which is just mostly Spanish people. So I think a big shock was being just learning Spanish and trying to understand people. And I feel like down south in Andalusia, I've really, really struggled with how fast and the accent of how people talk, especially in the little towns where I sometimes go. And yeah, I've realized it's far more difficult to learn Spanish than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I found the accent in Andalusia quite difficult when I moved here. When we first became friends,
Hmm.
we used to speak a lot. Well, we speak a lot in Spanish, sometimes in
Hmm.
English, sometimes in Spanish. And at first, I found it quite difficult to understand your accent in Spanish. Um, and you used some words I'd never heard before.
Hmm.
Uh, can you teach us a couple of Canarian words? So one that I remember you said a lot was means many or a lot or yeah.
Yeah, the word fleje,
Uh-huh.
it's written Fleje,
Hmm.
and it's very similar to the way people from Madrid use like mazo.
Hmm.
So I would say hace fleje calor or
Hmm.
hay fleje de gente.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you there were two more as well. So
Okay,
the
one that's very common and a lot of people in La Peninsula also know is guagua.
Mhm,
Guagua is the way Canarian people call the bus.
mhm.
And
So when you go to the bus station in the Canary Islands, what does it say?
it says Estación de Guagua, like
Uh-huh.
that. It's written Guagua.
That was my favorite. That I thought it was just slang, and then I
Oh, no, no,
remember
it isn't.
seeing the bus station, and it literally is Estación de Guagua. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally says that on the sign.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And third one that you had?
Maybe a word that you can find interesting is that there's a name for a particular type of knife in the
Hmm.
Canary Islands. That's very English influenced. Okay, so we call
Uh,
that traditional knife nife, which
uh-huh.
is essentially the same word in English that in Spanish.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. At least they don't pronounce the K, Canife or
Oh no, they
something.
don't. They
Yeah,
don't.
that would be
No,
funny.
no, no.
Okay, bye, Kelly.
Hi, Karis.
Adios. Okay, bye, Luke.
Bye, Karis.
Adios.
Adios.